Welcome back. Well, we have Dr. Hovannessian here on behalf of Harvard Eye Associates. Well, welcome. Nice to see you.
Great to see you as always, Lisa.
And, you know, there's so many different things that go on with our bodies and our eyes. And, you know, it's interesting. We've talked about dry eyes many times before. I don't think we've talked about this particular subject matter. And, folks, it's kind of interesting. So,
this one's a little bit gross, I'm going to say, but it's real and it's important, and there is a new treatment for it. So that's why we're talking about it today.
Got it. All right. Well, good. Well, this is something that everybody probably has had at one point in their life.
Most of us do, yeah. So, well, a dry eye is something that many of us have as well, and that's a condition that very often we feel just burning of our eyes, or sometimes it's just blurriness that's intermittent, comes and goes. And it's caused by a lot of things. We've talked about it a number of times. Age is the #1 cause of death, as well as dry eye.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Hormonal changes, medications, environmental factors, and other diseases.
Right.
I'm not sure if this counts as a disease so much as an infestation. We're going to talk about a type of mite, a little organism, a parasite that grows on your skin called Demodex folliculorum. You sound smart when you just say that.
Yes,
I like
absolutely.
saying Demodex folliculorum. But this is an organism that our likelihood of having it on our body is about equal in percentage to our ages in years. So if you're 50, you got about a half and half chance. If you're 70, you got a 70% chance.
I see.
Most of us probably have this by the time we're older adults, let's say. And it lives on our skin, and it's most of us in the past have not thought it to be very symptomatic.
Right. Well, now I have to go back to the age thing, because so if you're 70 or 80, you have a very high probability. Is that because of the, like you said, the age of the skin?
Yeah, it's because of, we think that it's largely caused by the production of oils in the skin. So these are mites that live on and around hair follicles, and around hair follicles are also glands that secrete sebum, or oily secretions that are in our skin. And as the character of our skin matures, and so do those glands, so does the production of, or the likelihood of an infestation with Demodex. So
it's in the follicle.
They live in the follicle. Well, they sort of move around, and this gets even grosser than gross, because
I'm itching.
You're itching as we speak.
I'm itching.
It's normal. It's a really normal reaction. So these mites, just to put it in perspective, the size in perspective, you will almost never see them unless you're really looking with magnification.
Yeah.
Their average width is about 1/10 of a millimeter, about the same width as an eyelash. And we see them in the eye, where they commonly reside, in the upper eyelashes. And the evidence of them is not necessarily the mite itself, but the evidence that it was there is in these little crusty stuff on the lids, and I think we've got other pictures that we call collarettes. And so this is a microscopic rendering of what the lash base would look like. Instead of just the sort of tree trunk that you see toward the top, there's this collar of debris that is produced by these mites that infest the hair follicle underneath.
Is that from the oils?
It's
what is that actually made of?
It's actually made of a compound of protein and fibrin material that is produced by the mites. It's waste products. It's it's some of your own dead skin cells. The mites themselves during the day live deep inside the hair follicles, and that's one of the reasons we don't see them. When there's light, they flee. And the place they flee is, as daybreak comes, like cockroaches, is they flee into the lash follicles. At night, they climb out on the eyelash, onto the skin, and then they mate on the surface of the skin. So while you're sleeping, they're making busy.
Okay, then. Ew. Okay, now the reason why he is bringing this up today is because there is a new treatment, and this is why we're talking about this. Thank goodness, because I don't know what else to say.
So people who have one of the common symptoms of Demodex is actually itchy eyelids. If you rub especially against your upper eyelashes because they itch periodically, probably you have some Demodex infestation. That doesn't mean you've got a terrible disease. It doesn't mean you're going blind, but it can be irritating, and the symptoms go beyond just that itchiness. The collarettes are the outward symptom. You see the picture of those. But often burning and sensitivity, all the things we talked about in dry eye, there may be some portion of it that's caused by Demodex. And there again, a picture of the collarettes.
So there are times when maybe you've you sleep and then you wake up in the morning and there are some kind of this
Crusty
around the
stuff
edge
on
of
your
your
lashes.
eyes. Yeah, so would that be the same thing or is that totally different?
That's a little different. So the kind of crust that we showed the picture of there, the collarettes, are present really all the time. If you look at someone who has infestation, we're going to usually see some of that any time of day or night, however they think they've cleaned their eyelids.
Yeah.
But because it's really stuck onto the lashes. The crusty stuff that happens at night can be caused by allergy or infection or, you know, a variety of things that irritate your eyes, causing that crustiness. So you don't have to wake up with crusty feeling eyes to have this condition. So that's a great question that you asked.
Okay.
Now, as far as treatment, you know, we've not really had a great treatment in the past. We haven't really considered this to be a big cause of symptoms until recently, when better treatments have come along that have shown us what normal feels like for people who had a baseline of feeling not so great when they were infested. So we've really learned through the availability of treatment that this actually is a problem for people. So the old treatment is really, and all treatments are aimed at control. It's like ants at your house. You know, you're never going to eliminate them. You're going to just reduce them because they're coming back, you know, in the dry season, right? So in the eyelids, we aim to control it. And the old method was with tea tree oil. Tea tree oil is widely available and is a terrific anti-parasitic agent. It does a lot of wonderful things, but it's very irritating to the eyes. And there are a few formulations like Clearadex that's available on the web that you can use, that comes in the form of wipes that you can use on the eyelashes. A newer treatment that is not yet, but soon will be FDA approved, from a local company, Tarsus, doesn't have a trade name yet. It's got a code name, TP03.
Okay.
And TP03 is currently finished with its FDA studies, proved to be very effective, proved to provide symptom relief, even in those who didn't have a lot of symptoms at baseline.
Okay.
And proved to eradicate mites when used twice a day for a number of weeks.
Eradicate. That's pretty good.
But of course they'll come back.
Does that mean they're just dormant?
No, it means they're dead and gone as far as we can tell.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Right? And so they may reside somewhat dormant, or they may come back from other parts of your skin, because these mites can live on other parts of our skin as well.
I see.
So, but it's a treatment that, you know, we'd like our patients and the community to be aware of if they have chronically irritated eyes, particularly if they've had dry eye that hasn't responded well to treatment. There's a new treatment that may be beneficial. It's not yet FDA approved. We expect that perhaps in early 2023.
Oh, okay, great. Now, so the clinical trials and all that's over, right? Because
Done.
it's already gone to the FDA for approval.
That's right.
Okay, and where was it tested? Was it tested in Europe?
A number of sites, around the U.S. And it's been used in other countries as well. Some study has been done on it, but this was primarily developed and tested here in the U.S.
That's wonderful news.
Yeah.
Good, great for an American company. That's nice to hear. And thank goodness, because I would hate to have those constant. You know, for all of you out there suffering, I'm sorry. But hopefully you'll find treatment. Like hopefully after maybe March or April. You don't really know.
We don't know for sure. The FDA gives and the FDA taketh away. So.
Well, we hope it'll happen soon.
I'm with you.
Thank you so much for the information.
It's great to see you, Lisa.
You too. And if you want more information about this particular treatment or anything to do with your eyes, you can always get in touch with Harvard Eye at harvardeye.com or call them at 949-951-2020. We'll be right back.